you have some mindset where challenge is not an obstacle for you, where difficulties in life is nothing that stops you, but a challenge in life, a conflict that comes up. Everything that makes you feel uncomfortable at the first glance, it's nothing that is depressing you. It is something where you actually realize that is the next area of my growth. Because it's heartbreaking, because it is so heartbreaking, because it goes so deep, it carries the potential for the highest transformation. So this type of change of perspective, if you want to see it bad, it's going to be bad. But if the circumstances right now are like this, and with the mindset which is in your hands, you can still transform it somehow, the highest transformation can happen. And this is, I think, the value. This is why I like so much in the Buddhist teachings. Number one sentence is, with our thoughts we create the world. The circumstances are not going to change. What happened to you is not going to change. But dependent on how you are tuning your thoughts, something about it is going to change. This is why the power of the mind is so important. Because it is ultimately outside there, the wars, everything is not going to change. Because it's not dependent on what you want. You can only determine what is going to be the consequence of what comes to you. How will you transform it? Will you let it stuck inside of you and it slowly eats you up from the inside? Or do you make something different about it? And this is based on the thoughts, on the mental redirectioning of yourself. Yeah.
How do we keep going when we lose hope?
Either you have very strong personalities next to you that realize you're about to lose hope, and that's why they keep pushing you, which means that's why it's good to sometimes have a brotherhood or a sisterhood or somebody you are very close to, people they can sense, they know when your motivation is down and you cannot get up by yourself. That's why you have them. Then they come and help you. It's good to have sometimes a bond like this. The second thing is, if somebody is losing hope already, maybe the vision that gives the hope is not strong enough. Hope dies at last. I really think so in a way too. But if the hope dies too early, before that, that was not hope. That was maybe an idea that you have. Maybe it was like a motivating thought that you had, but it was not hope. Hope is really, really deeply embedded, where internally you don't care about what 8 billion other people say. You have it and you're going to do it.
What creates a positive mindset?
In my way of seeing the things, it's about understanding that this world that we are living in, simply expressed, there's always an exchange between the left side and the right side, the bad side and the good side, the negative and the positive, the pessimistic and the optimistic. That's why for me, those two, they always belong together. And it is normal for me that sometimes circumstances are bad, but I also know, at the moment, but it's an exchange. Sooner or later, it will be also becoming good again. Now I'm a little bit depressive, but it's gonna change. Same way is, now everything is positive. But I know it's gonna change. Things are changing. Nothing ultimately stays as it is. That's why I'm not sure if it is a positive mindset that I would propagate. My mindset would be that you are neither stuck in a negative one, but you're also not stuck in a positive one. So your perspective, your mindset would be one that at all times always sees actually the exchange of this one and this one. And sometimes, out of circumstances, out of whatever reasons, sometimes it's more based upon here. But then you also know, just a question of time, I move here. So to understand the interplay of these two and accept it actually that also the negative part is part of my life. As long as I also take care that it doesn't stay for a too long time in my life, I can have my bad days. Because to push yourself in having positive thoughts, be optimistic, can also sometimes be like you see people do it, but you can feel they're not. They behave like everything would be great life, but I can see inside it's not. You have to be as you are, based with all two forces. It's just that Stay calm. Nothing stays as it is. See the interplay always of both forces. And then get calm about it and regulate it. And then somewhere along the line, maybe it becomes balanced then. It's about fullness. It's about how full do you feel. If somebody wakes up every morning without any goal, without any purpose, but feels just fulfilled, no need for purpose. But I think in the modern society, we find it probably a phenomena. You have everything, more or less. Wake up, but there is this discontentment. Don't know what to do with your time. Don't know the sense of, I don't know. And then I think it would make sense to add just as a motivator. It makes sense to give your life a purpose. Also meaning you're not searching for it. In the first stage, don't need to search for it, meaning what is my purpose? You have to ask the question, but you don't necessarily search for it. First is you give your life a purpose. So you can say you put yourself a mission statement. First thing is just you need to keep going. You need to do something in order to make use of the lifetime that has been given to you. But along this way, things are going to change. There will come the period you do, and then you realize all the doing actually brought nothing. So maybe you will return back to, it's about the non-doing. And then you do nothing again. But then at the same time you realize, yeah, but with all the non-doing, I don't know, I could do actually much more. Then you start doing again. And along this way, you're going to figure out the middle way for you to live. It's both of them. It's not about being active all the time, and it's also not about being passive all the time. It's about being present in all of these times.
What is a healthy relationship?
I'm not only talking about human relationships. I'm not talking about love relationships only. There can be many types of relationships. First that just comes to my mind is, in order that there is a type of relation, that means there must be already at least more than two components involved. These components then have a connection. This is number one. If there is no connection, it's difficult to determine any type of relation between them. So first we need a connection. That connection can mean that feeling-wise maybe, based on the emotional, on the feelings, on your emotional states, maybe there is something that is in resonance, which means there is something that two beings have in common. That's why it's resonating. So if this type of connection is already there, then I think it's a good starting point. On the other side, what can also happen is that in the mind, you are having a desire for something, but the feeling is not one of connection that you have there. In the mind, it says, yes, I want, but feeling-wise, it's not there. This is for me not a good starting point. How do I know if a relationship can develop into a healthy way? I think you must directly start right from the beginning. If the feeling with which you have entered into this relation, no matter what type, if there is resonance, of course we think we know what we want. The question is that what you want, does it fit to what another person wants? What you want, does it fit together what like your dog wants? And if there is no basic, if there is no way that you can connect, and after the connection, what is happening then? Exchange, giving and taking. Meaning also, if within one type of connection, if one type of relationship, the flow is always one directional, it's not going to work. So after connecting, after resonance, then the question is, how do you see the flow of exchange within this bond? And if it is a healthy flow where nothing is stagnating, there is a giving and a taking. From times this can change, but it's there. So there is flow. Then I think a relationship can develop in very nice directions. In my view about the world, I believe in cause and effect. Simply meaning you plant an orange seed, you get an orange tree. You plant an apple seed, you get an apple tree. How did I become the way how I am today? I am the effect. Who is the cause? My parents. So why can I be here? Why are we able to talk? Because of my parents. And everything that you can trace back thanks to my parents. That's why there is gratitude. Why can I do in the martial art field the things that I can do? Because I had teachers that taught me the things. Gratitude to all of the people, all of the masters and teachers that taught me these skills, taught me these methods. The friends, the ones why you are still a person today who believes in hope, who believes in keep going, who believes in friendship, who are the key persons that you nowadays still have it. Well, gratitude to all these companions that you have met in your lifetime. So everybody will find plenty of people or beings, also animals, no problem, where you feel like that without them, you would have never become the person you are today. And the ultimate gratitude is, I think, once again, to this one who allowed everything to happen. And this is why I don't know if you call it the universe, if you would want to call it the nature, different nations, different cultures, different names. But there is probably something that we cannot just give a name, but without it, we would all not be here. And so there also goes a huge amount of gratitude towards life itself. Being able to live, being able to see colors, being able to speak, being able to listen to things.